they just didn't really put the practical in it, and so it just seemed like there is, you know, work life and then that. So I just want to learn more. I mean, I know how to incorporate the yoga and all that sort of in my daily life, but then I just want to go a little bit further.
But I found with the neuro-semantics too, these are exceptional tools.
Yeah.
And they're actual tools, like they're usable, they're reliable, and I think it's, you know, I think you have good control with them too, you know, when you're working with things. I think they're just superb.
So what we are going to do today is a pattern called depleasuring addictions. And now one of the patterns that was mentioned here was the whole notion of how we meta pleasure activities, and we did that by looking at the meaning structure of something that we find very, very pleasurable, and then taking that meaning structure and putting it to some activities that we don't find so pleasurable. And as you can see, it's a way to something that we want to do but we don't do because, and so that we can change the our attitude toward what's pleasurable. Now, one of the things about pleasure is that we have these primary states of pleasure, and pleasure. A primary state of pleasure has a satiable a threshold. So after a certain amount of it,
Right.
we don't want it anymore. But when we add meaning to it, we can get more pleasure. We can go beyond that satiation threshold. And that's usually what happens with addictions, is that we override the normal levels of what would normally be satiated with, and we would so consequently we can create behaviors that are not working for us, and yet we don't get enough of it. And it could be a substance, or it could be an activity. That's why we can be addicted to gambling, things like gambling and pornography, internet, all kinds of things. I'm just
Coffee.
thinking of some other ones that I might be able to work on myself.
Internet porn.
But one of the other distinctions that I was going to make was that also when you take something like gambling, there's a huge amount of meaning that's attached to it, or any strong addiction, because we have all kinds of preferences that are associated with it. We enjoy it most when we have our particular chair that we're going to use, or we have a particular machine that we're going to use, or so there's a whole meaning structure that's built around it, and the whole thing makes us addiction. So we're addicted to this whole activity, and similar things with alcohol or drugs or and many other things. And so to really take the driver away from those addictions, we have to somehow depleasure the meaning, and that's what we're going to do today. Now, the structure of how we do this is we'll have somebody that one of you hopefully will volunteer, and we'll go through kind of an inquiry of that of that particular addiction, to give you kind of a demonstration of what we'll do, and then we'll break up into pairs and work on it again individually, so that we get practice on both sides. The basic structure of this depleasuring addiction is we'll identify disliked pleasure, and then we'll begin to identify the levels of meaning. Then we'll kind of sketch the fullness of the enjoyment, like kind of sketch out, like there will probably be different basic meaning, primary pleasures to it, and then we kind of go up from that to higher levels of meaning. Then we will appreciate it and quality control it. So look at the total gestalt of it, appreciate it, and see, is it working for us? Then we'll explore the structure by taking certain elements away and seeing how that affects the overall gestalt. And then we'll commit to depleasuring it, and then we kind of future pace it, so we put it into our future, and think of other ways that we can get the meta pleasures and see ourselves enjoying those meta pleasures without the primary activity. And so that's the structure, and I'm going to hand out the so now we can engage our reflexive consciousness here, reflect about what our life is and the kind of activities, and think of any pleasures that we have that we don't really want. Some things that that keep coming up.
Well, I shared with the group when we were together last that I'm an alcoholic, and I have to do that because I don't say that, and I'm still adapting to that label. But as of yesterday, I've been 9 months without a drink, and I wasn't a drink every day guy, but I drank in a way that would classify me as an alcoholic, and drinking mornings and that. But I drank to excess, so that is something that I want to take through this exercise, because I still have at times this mental, wanting to have that pleasure. Apparently I've got these enzymes that turn alcohol into things that are like endorphins. So it's like it gets you high,
Yeah.
not a depressant. And I was always a happy drunk, and could drink incredible quantities without showing it.
Yeah.
But anyway, it triggered a lot of positive stuff that I have to find other ways. So,
as you think about your own pleasures, I could start with David.
I'd be happy to do it.
And we'll go from there. So, David, if you would bring your chair up here, and
it's going to have the benefit of Art's expertise.
You're the first person I've ever done this pattern on.
Wow, lots of pressure. And you're being videotaped.
Is the pressure on you or me?
I don't know. If I cry, you're